This is a blog about interest, our interest, what we are interested in. And from time to time, it pays to take a good look at and to consider what the takeaway is from our Dharma reading, our Dharma listening, and our Dharma practice. I don't intend to be overbearing when I say this. However, if we find that takeaway from all these things related to the Dharma to look like a bunch of imperatives or a house cleaning list, we may be off base. Since we may not know much yet about Dharma, don't assume that we know what we are talking about. And that goes for you too. Since you may not know much about Dharma at this point, don't assume that you know what you're talking about. That's really an important one. If there's one thing that I've learned at great expense from all the years I've spent with Dharma, is that my expectations, my imagination, what I expect, what I anticipate, seldom to never turn out to be as I imagined they should. How could they? I didn't know enough about the topic to make lists, form judgments, or know what to even hope for or expect. And I wrote this small poem many years ago, which I'll just repeat. It's only a couple lines. It's called Beyond My Expectations. Looking at the mind, it's not what I'd expect. Expectations can't define, and you can't expect to find. That's the nature of the mind. End quote. If what we walk away from our Dharma study and practice is something like, do this, don't do that, I better remember this, and so on, in my opinion, we're missing the point. What drives and what is the fuel for learning Dharma is interest, interest, and interest. And I can say with all sincerity that the Dharma has been and is the most fascinating and useful, life-sustaining practice I've ever encountered by far. I've done a lot of things in my life. Nothing's been more difficult than learning the Dharma. Nothing's been more worthwhile. So follow your interest. Follow what in the heart you feel and know is true. And your Dharma will just kind of sort itself out. It's true, it may take a while, and you may appear to yourself to be going in the wrong direction from time to time. But it will all come around, given some perseverance. Anyway, as mentioned, to me the Dharma is above all interesting. In fact, fascinating. And if you're not picking up on that in your own practice, then you're wandering somewhere you don't want to be. Just as even a whiff of impermanence is the smelling salts of the Dharma, wakes us up. We owe it to ourselves to find the vein of interest that works for us and stay on it, like a hound on the hunt. I can't count how many times I find myself running around muttering, I've got to do this and don't do that, until I wake up to the fact that once again, I've wandered back into the habit that I learned in my Catholic upbringing of working on a, quote, things I'm supposed to do list that I never liked in the first place. So, relax. It took me years to understand that when the Dharma teachers said to relax, I figured there must be some special kind of relaxing that I didn't know about. But no, they mean relax like you relax to watch a football game or take a load off. They mean just regular old relax. So relax and take your time, because it takes time, and lots of it, to allow the Dharma to seep in and work its magic. It's like marinating. In other words, follow and stay with the magic and interest that you have, because that's the only thing that will keep you on track to actually learn Dharma. At least that's been true for me. Waking up to drudgery again and again ought to be enough to tell us that we're off track and we're wandering up the wrong alley. Like the bloodhound who loses the scent, go back and find the trail of interest in your life again and become aware enough to stay on it. Over and over again, I find myself waking up to rote fatigue or lack of interest and dropping the whole chore. It's going nowhere, because I have to relax and allow the natural interest that has always guided me to come to the surface, come to my attention once again, and I need to grab that. Maybe not grab it, but I got to follow it, because it's made all the difference. Anyway, I could go on, but if you don't have the gist or idea of my point by now, it's probably not going to happen from this blog. Thanks.